Okay, now let's get started. The first thing that we need to do is write down a formula for potential difference. In this case, the formula that I'm going to use is that V is equal to the amount of electrical energy W per unit charge. Now, so far in this equation, our energy is measured in joules, which is not a base unit, and our charge Q is measured in coulombs, which is also not a base unit. Now, remember Q is equal to I times T, which I can substitute back into our original equation, and I can get that V is going to equal to W divided by I times T. Now, in this equation, W is measured in joules, once again not a base unit. However, now I is measured in amps, which is a base unit, and time is measured in seconds, which also is a base unit. So all we need to do to find out the base units for voltage would be to figure out the base units for energy. Now, the best way to figure out the base units for energy would be to use your favorite formula for energy. Everyone has one. Mine would be the formula for kinetic energy. So what I'm going to do really is I'm just going to write that kinetic energy is equal to a half mv squared. Now, kinetic energy is measured in joules, and we can derive the base unit from this equation. Now, the half is going to contribute no units whatsoever because it's just a number. However, the mass will contribute some units, so mass is measured in kilograms, which is a base unit. V, the speed that this is measured in meters per second. Then I'm going to be squaring this, so that means that a joule will be equal to kilograms meters squared s to the power of -2. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute this expression over here for the joule into the expression for potential difference. V is equal to W divided by I times T. Okay, so 1 volt will be equal to, and now I'm going to start out units. So the units for W is a joule, which is not a base unit. However, the base unit equivalent is kilograms meters squared s to the power of -2. We're dividing this by the unit for current, which is an amp, and then we need to multiply by the unit for time, which is seconds. Now, we're almost done here. Now, all we need to do really is essentially tidy this fraction a little bit. What I'm going to do is just rewrite this with all of the terms at the top of the fraction. So this will be equal to kilograms meters squared s to the power of -2. And now, rather than dividing by amps, I'm going to multiply by amps raised to the power of -1. This is just from algebra. And then I'm going to multiply by s to the power of -1. Well, hang on a minute, I have s to the power of -2 here, and I have s to the power of -1 here. When you multiply them together, you are going to get s to the power of -3. So I'm just going to rewrite this with this in mind. So this will be equal to kilograms meters squared s to the power of -3 amps to the power of -1. And this is the base unit for potential difference, the base unit equivalent of the volt. Okay, folks, hopefully this makes sense. If there are any questions, please feel free to drop a comment down below, and please consider subscribing.